I keep calling this world building? I really should call it just, like, something else. Okay, placed it there. You know, why don't I just start the recording, like, after I post all my notifications, then I don't have to cut out chunks of it. Also, now that I've started talking, I feel like I need to start talking, because otherwise it'll screw up my whole start thing. The lighting's really weird right now. Oh, I know why. You're not pointing in the right direction. And then go. Okay. Sorry. Just need to screw thing back on. Why are you not screwing on? Screw off. Normally I want people to screw off. This time I want you to screw off. Good? You're good. I found that kind of precariously, but I'll figure that out more later. Okay. And live notifications. Done. That should be good. Shouldn't need that anymore. Shouldn't need this anymore. Just closing some tabs. And we should be here. And now I can go Pucha! Oh. Yeah, that also is a thing. Let me do Pucha! There we go. This is what I meant to do. This reminds me. Let me just do 500. Yeah, that's enough. I could probably even do 200. I think there was a tiny bit I needed to do with Druid. I did the spells. So what I ended up doing, because... Oh, also, ignore my face. I have cold sore. That's why there's a big red blotch on my face. Nothing I can do to cover that up. I think even makeup wouldn't work. Not that I have makeup. Yeah. So what I did... I forgot how annoying it is to put every single spell into something and organize it properly. So instead what I did is something I often do, which is do 3 per level, or 3 per spell slot. So that gives plenty of variety, but it's not overwhelming. I don't know what these little burp hiccups are. So that's really all I did. So I needed to do... I did do that. Technically I have an adventuring pack. Did forget to add that. You know, that's something I can also add on my own time. As far as weapons go, a staff and a shield is fine. Leather armor for... I think I picked because I have a high dex. Yeah. So it ended up being just as good, if not better, than other things. You know what? I'm gonna call it done. As far as, like, selecting spells I will do when I actually go to do combat stuff. And I know some of these have higher levels, which I can put in. Mostly things like summon junk are the ones I would know I would do. Oh, I need to make the leshy. I knew there was something I was forgetting that I wanted to do on stream. Okay. So, I need to figure out how familiars work. Because it is familiar, right? Let me double check that. With your leshy familiar at your side, yeah, so you get the Druid feat leshy familiar. You call a minor spirit of nature into a plant body, creating a leshy companion to aid you in your spellcasting. You gain familiar, which has your choice of either the plant or fungus familiar ability. This doesn't count against your usual limit of familiar abilities, typically 2. The spirit you call has more of a tenuous connection to its plant body than fully independent leshy, so it's tiny in size like other familiars. So companions, familiars. So familiars are different than pets, which are different than companions. Familiars are mystically bonded creatures tied to magic, blah blah blah. Gain the pet general feat, except that your pet has special abilities. Common traits, familiars, and blah 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 blah. Well, let's take a look at the pet feat real fast. Pet. You have a tiny pet. You have a pet, a tiny animal. Has the minion trait, meaning it gains 2 actions during your turn if you use the command an animal action to command it. This replaces the usual effects of command an animal, and you don't need to attempt a nature check. A pet can't make strikes. Your pet's level is equal to yours. So creature type, minion, plant, because I want the plant instead of fungus. Your pet saves, so your pet's level is equal to yours, so level will be 5. You can also do at equals the Druid test, but level, but use command animal, command it. This is your effects of command animal. Your pet's level is equal to yours. So level is equal to your pet. Your pet's save modifiers and AC are equal to yours before applying circumstance or status bonuses or penalties. It's usually 3 plus your level. It uses 3 plus your level as perception modifier, acrobatics, and stealth. Just its modifier for other skill checks. It doesn't have its own attribute modifiers and can never benefit from item bonuses. Acrobatics, perception, and stealth. So perception will be 5 plus 3, so 8. Acrobatics will be 8. Stealth will be 8. I'm just putting him in over here. Your pet has 5 hit points per level. So let me put the HP to 5 times 5 is 25. Low light vision and can gain additional senses from pet abilities. So I think part of it is that it has more pet abilities, which I'll get into when I look at familiar. Low light vision. I'm just going to put 0 for all of these because it doesn't use its own, but it might as well have them there. Which also reminds me, it uses it for others, even though I don't think it should be able to make things. Something like athletics it can use. Intimidation it in theory can use. Survival it can in theory use. Thievery it can in theory use. Performance it can in theory use. Honestly, deception, diplomacy, crafting no, medicine no, nature no. Basically the ones that... Yeah, arcana, nature, medicine, religion, occultism, and society, I would argue that a pet can't know. Unless, of course, you get an ability for it. Okay, low light vision. There's a senses section. Or is it? Ah. Low light vision. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, I was just putting 8 in all of these, or 5 in all of these with 8 in the 2. Speed of 25. Brings water. Land speed. Okay, so speed 25. When you gain your pet, choose 2 of the following abilities. If your pet is an animal that naturally has one of these abilities, for instance, if an owl has a fly speed, you must select that ability. If your pet can't be an animal that naturally has a pet ability, the maximum in some cases. So I'm going to ignore... Can gain a new pet by retraining this feat, releasing any previous pet you have. Okay, so let's go back up to familiar. I think it has this stuff on the page. But let me double check. Pet abilities, yeah. So these are here. So it gains the plant for free. Your familiar uses your spellcasting attribute modifier plus your level, instead of 3 plus your level if it's higher. Okay, so that's more for early levels, but once you hit level 5, which I'm at, 8 is better. So it'd be 28. Familiar use. Yeah, what is the AC? Hold on. I think that was mentioned in either place. Hold on. Doesn't have say the modifier and AC are equal to yours before applying circumstance or status bonuses or penalties. So would that include with armor? And modifier saves as well. 11, 13, 13. That's 12. And I guess 22 AC? That seems high. I feel like it should be 10 plus. I feel like it should be 14. or sorry, 14, 10, 14. Yeah, no item bonus, which is just 1 actually. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so it should be 21. I think it. Yeah, I would argue the item bonus granted by leather shouldn't apply. Okay. Yeah, so that part is not properly repeated up here, even though it says it. Also, pets don't get to use your spellcasting ability modifier if they're better, but that again only applies until about level 5, when it'll always be worse. So choosing 2 abilities. Only when you gain familiar, as you do with a normal pet, you can choose 2 abilities each day during your daily operations. You can choose from familiar abilities and master abilities. If you choose the pet abilities, you can choose the pet abilities from the feat as a familiar ability as well. You can't swap out abilities that are innate to your familiar. For example, you cannot choose to give a raven familiar flying. Familiar abilities primarily affect the familiar itself. A familiar can have no more than 1 ability that changes its creature trait, such as construct or plant. You can choose a pet ability from the pet feat, or a familiar ability amphibious. Burrow, climber, dark vision, echolocative. See sidebar. It helps you perform whenever you attempt a performance check. You're familiar with your back act. Economies with your chirps or claps or some miniature instrument. Against your plus and circumstances, +2 if you're a master. Construct can't do it because I already have. Choose 1 type of save. Your familiar takes no damage, and it rolls a success on that type of save. Doesn't prevent effects other than damage. Focus when you refocus, you generate magical energy that heals your familiar. Your familiar gains 1 hit point per level whenever you refocus. Not bad. In encounter, you don't command your familiar, it still gains 1 action each round. Typically, you can still decide how to spend its action, but the GM might determine that your familiar chooses its own tactics rather than performing your preferred action. It doesn't work with valet or similar abilities that require command. If you're capable of riding your familiar or similar situations. You can understand and speak with animals of the same species. To select this, your familiar must be an animal, must have the speech ability, and you must be at least 6th level. You got amphibious, burrower, climber, dark vision, echolocation, fast movement. Fast movement might be worth it. Depends on what else you can get. So it can perform the manipulate action. Normally pets cannot. Use scent. Imprecise sense within 30 feet. Or increase 2 per level. It only increases the resistance it gains from its resistance familiar ability to a value equal to your level. To select this, you must be at least 8th level. Distance ability? Oh. Choose 2 of the following acid, blah blah blah. familiar gains resistance. Equal to half your level. Master's form, your ability can change shape as a single action, transforming into a humanoid of your ancestry with the same age, gender, and build of its true form. And build... wait. Same age, gender, and build of its true form, though it always maintains a clearly unnatural remnant of its nature. Such as a cat's eyes or serpent's tongue. Oh, okay, I see what it means. Its form is always the same each time it uses this ability, otherwise the effect of humanoid form, except the change is purely cosmetic. It only appears humanoid, gains no new capabilities. Your familiar must have the manual dexterity and speech abilities just like this. Familiar can speak language. Partner in crime. Your familiar is your criminal associate. Despite being a minion, your familiar gains one reaction at the start of its turn, which it can use only to aid you on deception or thievery skill checks. It still has to prepare to help you as normal for the aid reaction. It automatically succeeds at its check to aid you with those skills, or automatically critically succeeds if you're a master of the skill in question. Plant form. Your plant familiar can change shape as a single action, transforming into a tiny plant of a type roughly similar to familiar's nature. This otherwise uses the effect of one of the plants. You must have the familiar with the plant trait, just like this ability. Plant form could be interesting. Choose a spell in your repertoire or that you prepare today at least 5 levels lower than your highest rank spell. Okay, yeah, I can't do this. Your familiar can cast that spell once per day using your magical tradition, the spell attack modifier, and spell DC. The spell has a drawback that affects the caster. Both you and your familiar are affected. You must be able to cast it, so yeah. Tool bearer. Your familiar can carry a toolkit for you to light bulk, so long as your familiar is adjacent to you. You can draw and replace those tools as part of the action that uses them if you're wearing them. Your familiar must have manual dexterity ability to select this feat. Touch telepathy. Familiar can telepathically communicate via touch. It also has the speech ability. It can teleport via touch with any creature that shares a language. Valet. You can command your familiar to deliver items more efficiently. Familiar doesn't use its 2 actions immediately upon your command, instead up to twice before the end of your turn. You can have your familiar interact to retrieve an item or light an actual bulk you are wearing and place it into one of your free hands. Familiar can't use this ability to retrieve stowed items. Your familiar has a different number of actions. It can retrieve 1 item for each action it has when commanded in this way. Master ability to effect your magic passes between you and familiar. I think there's I think the master ability is like a feat. Hold on. For things that gain familiars. Unless you're familiar secrets. That's one thing. They call her for restoration. Incredible companion. No, it's animal companion. And collar. Growing energy plant shape. Primal howl. And verdant weapon. I'm looking for one that requires plant order. Nope. Or leshy familiar. Because you can technically pick it up without plant order, I think. You have turned into a plant version of yourself. You plant traits using traits inappropriate for your new form, typically humanoid. You also gain the verdant rest. I would assume you get it before level like 16, but let's go back. Normal point shape. Maybe druids don't get it. It's possible. You can select one additional familiar ability each day, which must be one of the following. Yeah. An enhanced familiar. You can select 4 familiar or master abilities each day instead of 2. Can you just do master abilities? Abilities when you gain your familiar. As you do with a normal pet, you can choose 2 abilities each day during your daily operations. You can choose familiar abilities and master abilities. What's the difference then? I guess one affects the familiar, one affects the master. Let's see. So if you're familiar, you can transform into a mark on your carrying flesh, typically seeming like birthmark to a gem, vaguely resembles its normal form. Familiar can't act except to turn back into familiar. It's affected by binary effects. This means you and your allies can heal or assist. Familiar. Protect its ability to affect it, which requires knowledge that it's a creature. This means your allies can heal or assist the familiar while this enemy stay unaware of its true nature. Creature must attempt a DC 20% check to seek. Suppose it's actually familiar. Familiar can still communicate, feeling empathetically. Transforming familiar between forms is a 1-minute activity. As a concentrate trait. Cantrip connection. You can prepare an additional cantrip, or if you have a repertoire, designate a cantrip to add to your repertoire every time you select this ability. You can retrain it, but can't otherwise change it. You must be able to prepare cantrips or add them to your repertoire to select this. Once per day, your familiar can use 2 actions with the concentrate trait to restore 1 focus point to you. After your usual action, you must have focus pool. I see. So master abilities affect you. Innate Surge. Once per day, you can draw upon your familiar's innate magic to replenish your own. You can cast 1 innate spell gained from an ancestry feed. Okay, yeah. If your familiar would be reduced to 0 hit points by damage as a reaction with the concentrate trait, you can take all the damage and your familiar takes none. However, special effects that would occur to damage, such as Snake Venom, still apply. Sense. Once every 10 minutes, you can use a single action with the concentrate trait to project your sense into your familiar. You still lose all sensory information from your own body. You can sense the body for up to 1 minute. You can dismiss this effect. You can gain 1 additional spell slot, at least 3 ranks lower than your highest rank spell slot. You must be able to cast 4th rank spells. Spell delivery. If familiar is in your space, you can cast a spell with the range of touch. Transfer its power to your familiar. Familiar will deliver the spell. If you do this, the familiar uses its 2 actions for the round to move to a target of your choice and touch it. If it doesn't reach the target to touch this turn, the spell has no effect. So basically you take 2 actions and your familiar's 2 actions to deliver a spell. Once per day, you can use 3 action activity which has the concentrate to pull your familiar to your space. The spell must be within 1 mile of the attempt to summon it fails. This is a teleportation effect. Restorative familiar. Once per day, your familiar can use 2 actions with the concentration trait, give you up some of its energy and heal you. It must be in your space, so you're storing over hit points equal to 1d8 times half your level. 1d8 times half your level. supposed to be 1d8 per like half level, rather than like multiplying it. Companions. Spells and abilities that affect your companions when companions used in the stat block. Animal companions. Familiars, types, and companions appearing in other books. Just elemental companions. Some spells are even more specific. For example, if the spell says targets, so you're familiar, you can cast it only on familiar. Other kinds of companions. If you cast a spell, it can benefit only a type of creature you don't have, such as casting a spell that can only target a familiar. When you don't have a familiar, the spell does nothing. The spell would affect the ability to create. Spell would affect an ability the creature doesn't have. The spell doesn't give the creature the ability unless it says it does. For example, a spell that causes your companion to make a strike wouldn't let a familiar make a strike, but it would let all of them benefit from the spell. Okay. Honestly, Valet and Manual Dex. Did I pick up the... Hold on. Did I give the better familiar one? Feet? Enhanced familiar, yeah. 4 instead of 2. Which is pretty good, actually. This is one of those cases where I think it'd be worth like adding in a whole bunch of stuff. I guess that's tiny. Minion. Plant. Wait. Oh, type. Sorry. Familiar. Where it kind of depends on what you want to do with it, but also like what you like. If you're going into town, like giving it the ability to like, you know, hide or something. Plant form is pretty good because it's just a out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. Let me look up one with plants real fast. Actually, wait. Don't I have it on my sheet? I do. You can transform into a plant or merge with plant matter. While transformed, you can't move, affect anything outside of the plant. You can cast spells, so they don't require a line of effect beyond the plant. You can dismiss spell. Merge with plants. The spell's duration is 10 minutes. Okay, turn into plant. The spell's duration is 8 hours. A large plant, typically a tree. Perception. Perception checks don't reveal your nature. A successful nature spell check against your spell DC reveals that you appear to be a plant that is strangely new to the area. While in this form, you can observe everything around you. As a plant, your AC is 20, and only status bonuses, status penalties, circumstances, and circumstance penalties affect you. Any success on a critical success, you roll on a reflex saves are failure. Merge with plant. Spell duration is 10 minutes. When you cast a spell, you must touch a plant enough volume to fit you in your possessions. Or the spell is disrupted. While merge, you can hear but not see what's going on outside the plant. If the plant takes damage while you're inside, you're expelled from the plant and you take 10d6 damage. Magic passage expels you without dealing damage. Spells if you're ever outside the plant. I see. And they can't strike anyway. why I'm thinking, like, for a combat game, these two are best. It has to be light or negligible. Oh, level plus spellcasting attribute modifier. Wait. Oh, use your spellcast plus your level instead of 3 if it's higher. Boo. Okay, so it should be 4 plus. I'm dumb. I misread that the first time. So that means you are 9, 9, and 9. So spellcasting ability is 4. I assume that doesn't include proficiency. Yeah, spellcasting attribute modifier. I'm trying to think of what benefit a familiar can have in combat. Skilled could be nice. Spellcasting would be good, but it's nowhere near what I can. Tool bearer. Did I get my character? Is this character going to be... Did get room magic. What does room magic do? No, I need occultism for root magic to work. Whatever. The aid thing only works with thievery checks. Otherwise it'd be really good. I think master abilities would probably be better for that sake. Combat stuff. Spell battery, no. Spell delivery, no. Recall familiar is more of a safety thing. Familiar focus. Yeah, that's a good one. So let me give it an ability. Concentrate. Not sure how useful this would be, actually. Tough might also be worth it, but again, it doesn't really matter. Cantrip connection would be good. Oh no, sorry. So it'd be... Repair an additional cantrip, or if you have a repertoire designated cantrip. The repertoire every day, useful ability. You can retrain it, but can't otherwise change it. You must be able to prick. Oh, it has to be the same every time. Interesting. Well, let's look at my cantrips and see which one would be good to have every time. I mean, Detect Magic is one of those ones that's like, why not always have it? Stabilize could be good for the way I want this character to work. I don't clutch melee. Yeah, it is. Yeah, let's do Detect Magic. Quick bathroom break. Okay, I'll be back in 1 second. Oh, I've got to mute. Oh well. So... fast movement and manual dexterity would be good. Especially if I... oh wait, no, I can get 4. Be an item deliverer. Would skill be worth it? I just realized familiars are magically good at things, so... Could do flyer, flying pet. I think manual dexterity and fast movement would be better. Alright, fast movement, not fast mover. Good enough. Yeah, probably shouldn't have done this one for like combat purposes, but I got other stuff to buff and stuff with. Also, I feel like a familiar can really shine with, although rules is written, it can't take the strike action. But I wonder if like a polymorph spell can do something, but I think it's 4th level, so it doesn't matter anyway. Oh, and I also get the familiar secrets, which means I can do the other stuff. Druid feats. The idea of a delivery with valet with like this is actually kind of awesome. To rank 1 lower than your highest spell. You know what? I'm gonna make a change. Did I? How did I do that? I closed it. So I'm gonna do fast movement. 40 hit points. 5 times 5. 25 hit points. This is... What was I working on? Oh, I know what I did. I still think familiar focus. What's my focus spell do? Let's see what cornucopia does. I know it's like a healing thing, but I think it requires them to take an action. It's not like that great. It's more of an out of combat thing. Yeah. So basically, I take an action, or I take 2 actions, then they have to take 1 action. So yeah, the refocus thing's kind of meh. But I'll keep it around as like an option. So, got rid of that. Now you can have one person be the item dispensary, which is kind of fun. Purify air. Verdant burst. This does mean it has to die. How do you get familiars back? There's gotta be a way. If dying is worth enough of an ability to use. Although... hold on. Final sacrifice. Can you do this on a familiar? You channel bond between you and your minion, causing it to violently explode. The target is immediately slain. The explosion deals 66 fire damage to creatures within 20 feet of it with a basic. I can just blow it up. This would be great. You'd have to position it perfectly, because I think the healing burst is 30 feet. Three action, 30 foot, yeah. That could be fun.
Some familiars are different, usually described in the ability that grants familiar. For example, familiars different from basic path following ways. Your familiar can communicate empathetically with you as long as it's within 1 mile of you.
Can you get a familiar back if it dies?
The ritual becoming mixed with pet.
Do you have to get it? I mean, maybe you have to do what the pet one does, where it's like you can get a new pet by retraining the feat. Yeah, okay, so it's definitely a... Oh. Is that really right? Hold on. I mean, retraining I think might take a week. But I'm guessing it would be... Let's look at retraining. Because that might be what causes this to happen. Downtime or retraining. Retraining offers along a way to alter your character's choices. Off of this, you can take character in a new direction. Oh, why is my mic popping? You can perform other downtime activities while retraining. Retraining usually requires you to spend time learning from a teacher. While retraining, you can't make choice. Your current skill feat. You don't remember if you see some new progresses. Spend a week of downtime, chop out one of your feats, remove the old feat, replace it. Yeah, okay. This is probably where it got that idea. Yeah, so you're basically just retraining the pet feat. Also, that does remind me, because I have a familiar. You get the pet feat. Wrong place. There we go. Now this character is done. I mean, I'll go through and like give the adventurers pack later. I'm been going for an hour. I can go for a bit longer. As we move on to the Swashbuckler. Now, I realize that I made it an awakened secretary bird, but then I realized that having one large creature in a group of small creatures would be funny. So I think I'm going to make it a minotaur. Also, I was looking at just different things, and I thought it was cool that they have a way to be a were creature. But anyway, where was True Minotaur? Nose powerful frame and horns are smaller. Size is medium. It has the agile trait. In a weird way, that could be worth it. Burp runs are as deadly as spears. Under attack that doesn't need person your horns, brawling group, and have the unarmed trait. No, I have just straight up dark vision. Ghost Bowl. Resist pale as death, possibly from some connection to your family has to the afterlife, which lets you supernaturally find your way. You can cast Know the Ways and occult any spell. Cantrip is heightened to a spell rank equal to half your level rounded up. Spells effects that cause confused condition. For Gross Thick and Warm, all suited frozen mountains with your residue, or that where you reside. Cold resistance, environmental cold effects. Your hooves are broad and powerful, perfect for clearing the way. Rebel as you step, you become trained in survival and gain terrain expertise skill feat. Ignore difficult terrain caused by natural uneven ground on the terrain chosen for your terrain expertise feat. You're experienced in navigation of a certain type of terrain. You gain plus 1 circumcision to survival checks when you follow the following type of terrain. More time choosing a different type of terrain. Ugh. Slur. Slur in my speech. Slab. So, yeah, it's really annoying because the medicine I take for my cold sore dries out my mouth like crazy, which is why I'm drinking a ton of water. I'm already almost done with this whole thing. Which is also why I had to pee in the middle of the stream. I normally don't have to pee in these shorter hour-and-a-half streams. Your deep connection with stone and walls allows you to conjure massive slabs of granite that collapse onto your foes. Raise slabs activity. Thick slabs of stone rise around you before tilting over. Dealing 1d6 bludgeoning damage to all adjacent creatures. Basic reflex against your class DC or spell DC, whichever is higher. Critical failure, the creature is also knocked prone at 3rd level. This damage increased by 1d6. Interesting. Despite your heavy frame, you walk on shaggy hooves and awful your footsteps, allowing you to surprise your prey. You become trained in stealth. And gain the terrain stalker skill feat. Except you must choose rubble. You can sneak more than 10 feet instead of 5 feet without attempting a stealth check. Terrain stalker. Select one type of difficult terrain from the following list: rubble, snow, or underbrush.
well, undetected by all non-allies in that type of terrain. You can sneak without attempting a stealth check. As long as you move no more than 5 feet and do not pass within 10 feet of an enemy during your movement. During exploration, this also allows you to automatically approach within 15 feet of other creatures while avoiding their notice as long as they aren't actively searching or on guard. Move no more than 5 feet and do not pass within 10 feet of an enemy. And you can sneak more than 10 feet instead of 5 feet without attempting a stealth check. It's actually pretty good. Like 10, that's literally, does I have 1 square per turn? You know what? We're gonna do Stalker Minotaur. I love the idea of the giant, the one, like in a group of small creatures, the giant is the one who's like the stealthiest. Because you better bet I'm gonna give them a good dex. Background. Let's figure this out. Do they have backgrounds in here? Extra. Cantrip. Which is witch only. Oh, this is a new patron. Okay. Okay. And some witch feats. Bard stuff. And archetypes. Or morphs. Oh yeah. Druid stuff. I mean, I could. Let's see. Yeah, this isn't more of a summoning druid that I made, so none of these would really work. And then some extra spells. Which I really should have looked at. Frog tongue. That's fun. You may ship your lower body into the tail of a hippocampus or swim away from nearby foes. Oh, interesting. Cool. Any backgrounds? Animal companions. If I wanted to go animal companion, there's a whole thing on more animal companions, but yeah. And then you've got advanced companions, which you have to get at higher levels. Graphs. Beast armor. Menagerie, which is by level.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like there is backgrounds in this. I didn't think there would be, but, you know. Oh yeah, there's more familiar abilities here. Oh, alchemies, though. You got specific familiars, but I can't take them. Should I assume just take up a... They have an ability that takes up a slot or something of their thing. Alright, it's after ancestries. Occultism, deception... Let's have a tour. Barber. Acrobatics is nice. What is assurance? You can from basic task, choose a skill you're trained in. Go roll. Oh. Oh, you can gain the assurance skill with piloting lore. Not worth it. Let's look here. Acrobat. That could be fun. Steady balance. Let's look at that. You keep your balance easily, even in adverse conditions. When you roll success on the balance action, you critical success instead. If you're not off guard while attempting to balance on a narrow surface or an uneven ground, thanks to your incredible balance, you can attempt an acrobatics check instead of a reflex save to grab an edge. Actually, I'm going to do something real fast. Because I realized I need something. It actually doesn't matter right now. So we'll go here. Which type of Minotaur did I go with? Stalker. Type. Heritage. I don't know why you're being weird. Okay. And I get the Terrain Stalker. Say bonus feat, Terrain Stalker, Rubble. And I get Stealth. Oh, and I should do Background, which will get me Steady Balance. That was Acrobat. I don't think I put that on here like that. On the other ones, I should go back and do that. So let's go Strength or Dex. I'm going Dex. There we go. And then for Minotaur, I'm obviously not going to go with the Strength and Con, because I'm probably going to want Charisma as a Swashbuckler. I'm pretty sure Swashbuckler wants Charisma. Yeah, Dexterity, I knew that much. I think it's just they can do stuff with skills that sometimes require Charisma. Dexterity, Charisma. Oh, right, I know what's happening. That weird thing where it... So... And I get a boost to my Dex as part of my class. And boost to 4. and then boost to 4 more. Well, before that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9's correct. That's for the level 5 boost. This is more an upfront striker. Probably want to finish this next time. At least I got started on it. I'll input like things like basic adventuring gear and other stuff like that in on my own time. Not that I can really do it at work, because I don't know what's going on with my work computer, but it's just getting worse and worse, and I can't even open up Roll20 anymore. It takes forever, it loads super slow. I've needed a new computer at work for a while. So trained in acrobatics and stealth. I think I have 3 charisma people in this party. We've got the Druid. It's got Dex and Wisdom, with Con and Int as a secondary. We've got the Champion, who's got Strength with some Charisma, some Wisdom. Yeah, a little bit more balanced outside of the high Strength. And then the Swashbuckler was the Sorcerer. Sorcerer I did, yeah, 4, 4, 3, 2. Because they actually got, they actually made use of the penalty. Honestly, actually taking a penalty to con in Pathfinder 2e is not like the end of the world, which is weird. Don't I have... There we go. Yeah. So interesting. Basically, we don't have anyone in the party with intelligence. Well, that actually makes me want to do this. There we go. Actually, did the sorcerer have some intelligence, at least? Okay, yeah. So we got 2 half intelligence. Good enough. Obviously trained in class DC. You're always trained in class DC. Also, class DC is Dex. Oh yeah, traits. Minotaur humanoid, I think. Beast humanoid minotaur. And background was acrobat. Acrobat have 1 or 2 Cs? I think just 1. I think I'm just dumb. I love the idea of a dancy, flitty, large creature. Especially since it's the only large creature in a group of small creatures.
Swashbuckler, might as well just do skills. Acrobatics. So I can get a different one. Oh yeah, the style. This is determined by initial proficiencies. Which is Battle Dancer, which is performance. Intimidation. Deception. Athletics. Thievery. Diplomacy. Battle Dancer. So it'll be performance. Oh, an acrobat. Skill from your background would gain true skill from your class. Instead, become trained in another skill of your choice. Okay, just want to double check that. Because technically, I get acrobat as part of Swashbuckler. It's going to be performance. Wait, it's performance? Oh. I guess you're... What is performance supposed to be? Why is it showing up as custom? Charisma is supposed to be what it is. Orating or have a negative intelligence, you might have. Yeah. Four plus intelligence mod. 6, 7. Okay. I don't know why these are the way they are. That was 2. And then 1. And then 4. I kind of want to do the 4 spellcraft ones, but nah. Athletic uses strength. I don't know what's been going on with this sheet. I guess I'll take intelligence. Or intimidation, I mean. think anyone has society, so that's a good one. And then I think I get circus lore. Right? Yeah. So I should get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have one more. Might as well do occultism. I don't think anyone else has occultism, so might as well do it. Well, I think someone else. I think the Druid does, but. Alright. I think I'm done for today. So, thank you all very much for watching. If you liked, you can follow. If you really liked, you can subscribe. If you're on YouTube, you can like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. You know, let me know what kind of scenarios I should do for these mock combats. You know, if you have an idea for a character, maybe I could make. If you want, like, to give me a suggestion, you know, there's lots of things you can comment. But otherwise, if you need more convincing, I will be on the Dracovan Empire's channel tomorrow for the Crimson Queen. Let me go and do that, which is Pathfinder 1E. Shout out. There we go. I should put the link in YouTube, even though this will be going up on Wednesday, which is the day we'll be playing. Yeah, because... Yeah, so if you want to actually watch a game, you can go to his channel. I'll put a link in my descriptions. Probably for the ones that I announced them. Otherwise... I'll be here Friday next. Bye-bye.